are you doing? It's Stefan here. How are you doing? Listen, I'm in Mauritius here, and if you hear birds in the background, if you hear dogs in the background, that's because they're hanging out outside, having a good time. So am I, by the way. It's a beautiful place. And here's the reason why I recorded this video. I recorded this video because I want to talk about a crucial thing that holds men back. Holds men back that even consciously want to make a change, that want to get better at meeting women, that want to get better at dating, that consciously want to develop. But something underneath stops them from actually ever succeeding, no matter how many techniques they try, no matter how many different mindsets they come up with or that they learn. And this underlying problem is something that pretty much stops you from achieving anything, really, even though you may take a lot of action towards the goal. And the problem with this thing is that generally it stops most people from taking meaningful action in the first place, or even to get started. Yeah, it stops people from even getting started or taking meaningful action. And what is this thing that I'm talking about? Can you guess already? It's believing that you won't succeed. It's believing that you won't succeed. Okay, and that's the number one reason why people really don't either take action, or when they take action consciously, don't get results. Now, why do we believe that we won't succeed? There's a good reason for that, because, very often, you may relate to this. I certainly relate to this a lot from my own experience. So when I get emails from subscribers telling me about their experiences, I can tell very quickly what their past experience has been. Well, the reason we have beliefs like that is because our past experience, or specific bits of past experience that were particularly painful, I guess, tell us that we didn't have success then, therefore it means that we won't have success with women in the future. No matter what we do, we then think that, because we had a few unpleasant experiences, let's say, we won't have success with women in the future, no matter what we do, because we are just the guy that doesn't have success with women. Right? I mean, does this sound like something that you can relate to? Okay, so, the crucial problem with that is that it stops us from actually taking action, because once you take action and you start somewhere and you start implementing something that relates to you and that you find useful, something odd happens. If you do it for a little while, it changes something slightly in the way that you approach things, and it gives you a touch of momentum, a tiny bit of momentum, and then step by step, if you let your beliefs adjust to what you're actually doing, all of a sudden you're starting to develop a different belief, which may be, hey, I can do some of this stuff. I can meet women, I can be relaxed around women, and so forth. Now, this whole thing actually, it reminds me of when I was learning to type. Okay, a number of years ago, I was unemployed, just come out of university, and really didn't really know what I was doing, and had a lot of time. I was unemployed, and I was waiting for jobs to come in. Like typical naive, actor. And so the unemployment, the job centre here in England, they used to they offer you like a free training of some sort. So they offered me this typing training, like 10-finger typing for computers and stuff. At that time, there weren't so many computers there, right? Well, there were some computers, but I think I didn't even have a computer. Anyway, I went on this typing thing, although I thought, I'm not even sure why I'm here, but anyway, might be useful in the future. So I started doing this thing, and at first, I remember my wrists were hurting like hell. I was trying to do, and it was really hard going. So it was quite uncomfortable at the beginning. So I did it for 4 weeks or whatever, and they taught me to type with all these fingers and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I do it, and I got on with it, and just did it, but every time I was like, oh, my muscles, I'm not even sure, is this good for me? And I thought, oh god, yeah. Anyway, so I did all that, and then a while later, I forgot about it, and then a while later I got a computer of some sort, and I started using my typing, a little bit, and it was really slow. And I thought, 10 fingers, it should be fast, But I'm like, but I stuck with it, right? Then, funny enough, a year later, all of a sudden, I started to type faster, and it just happened, And I had this moment of realization, like, wow, I can do this thing now. I can do this thing. And isn't it great that I started, at the time when I didn't even think I would be using it in any kind of meaningful way. And all that pain is all gone. I'm just actually doing it, and the muscles had developed, and I was just doing it easily. And funnily enough, just imagine what would have happened if I hadn't started, at the time when I was unemployed and I did this typing course. What if I hadn't started? I can tell you one thing. I don't think I would ever have met my girlfriend in the way that I have, because we used to speak on Skype a lot, and Skype is a lot more fun when you can actually type, when you can actually be quick. So I'm a bit of a Skype flirt expert now, because I can type fast, and it's a really useful skill to have for guys, right? Because you can be much more interactive if you want to use that thing. I'm obviously now running a newsletter where I have thousands of subscribers that I communicate with. If I was sitting there every time going tick, 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 tick with every word, I would go crazy. I would never be able to do any of the stuff that I'm doing right now. Now that I'm continuously writing on my laptop, writing a book, creating concepts, writing mind maps, writing emails to my subscribers, all that stuff. So now it's easy, yeah? Now it's easy, and I do it easily and completely unconsciously. So my fingers just automatically do what my brain is thinking, yeah? And that's the same sensation that you can have around women. But the real lesson here is not to start doing a typing course. Typing course is a great idea. I would do it, definitely do it. But the real lesson is get started. Get started, because when you get started, even though you're not quite sure where, but if you put a bit of focus in a specific area of your life, like for example dating or meeting women, getting better at that, or getting more confident or whatever, if you put a little bit of focus in there, there will be an odd thing called momentum, If you keep with it for a little while, if you pick, let's say, a person like me or somebody else that you may feel even more affinity with, if you don't have affinity with me, then go on the newsletter, repeatedly stick with what they're telling you, follow their suggestions, and learn from them, okay? Because it will keep you focused on the area. It will create momentum. If you actually implement daily certain little things that you want to develop yourself in the direction of, then you will see with momentum, you will start to believe that you can. Now, but the biggest problem is that, many guys believe that they can't, and therefore they don't even get started. So get started. Just imagine, if I hadn't done my typing thing at the time, I would be sitting here going tick, 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 tick. I wouldn't have a newsletter, I wouldn't have a business that's running, and I wouldn't be able to help so many people, okay? I would just be sitting there going, duck, 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 this is frustrating, I hate this stuff, Christ, I'll do something else, okay? That's what I would have been doing. So do the same thing. Do this in terms of, practicing, learning how to meet women, because really it's something that you can learn. It's something that can become effortless with you, just as typing is with me, or that meeting women is with me now. Because to be honest, I don't ever have to think about what I'm going to be doing next when I meet women now, because it's just become part of who I am. And that's the same thing that can happen for you as well. If this is your situation, obviously, if you're just watching this video because you want to look at me, that's cool too. But anyway, but this is a really important point, okay? So what I would suggest you do is sign up to my newsletter, or to anyone else that you think you have even more affinity with. But I would suggest mine, because if you've been watching till here, you must be sort of half be interested in what I'm having to say. I'm certainly coming from a good place, so go to my newsletter, sign up there. It should be here below the video somewhere. And, follow my advice for a while. See how it changes things for you. Okay? let me know what you think of this. You know, I'm always interested to hear what you think by leaving me a comment, and do everything else that you want to do with this video. And I hope this was useful, and I want to speak to you very soon, hopefully on my newsletter. So I'll see you there, or even on one of my programs. Okay? Take care and have a good time, and speak to you very soon.